Hi friends, Chandrasekhar here again, and now we are going to talk about Chandra Mangal Yoga. The yoga, as you can understand, derives its name from coming together of Mars and Moon. The aphorism, which appears in Jataka Desha Marga, it is also available in a different form in different classic texts, is Shashi Mangala Sanyogo Yasya Janmani Vidyate. A person at the time of whose birth, Mars and Moon are together. What happens? Vimunchati natam Lakshmir Lajja Kulavadhum Iva. Wealth does not desert him in the same manner as a Kulavadhu is a Indian way of expressing it as a wife of good character does not desert her husband. So this has nothing to do with his not getting divorced or anything. Please understand. This is a what can I call it? This is an example to illustrate how wealth will always remain with the Jataka. Vimunchati natam Lakshmir. Lakshmi is money, wealth. Rather than money, it is wealth. So, a good wife who is also modest will never desert her husband. In the same manner, wealth will never desert a person in whose chart, in whose birth chart, Mars and Moon are together. This aphorism appears in Jataka Desha Marga, one of the classics. It also appears in different forms in different, classics. So it is not only in Jataka Desha, but the words many a times change, and the way that it is supposed to manifest also changes. So here there are two or three variations which are accepted by the learned. One of which is that they need not always be together, they can also be in square to each other. Now here obviously they will be Paraspar Karaka if they are in that is mutual helpers to do something, to do what? To deliver the wealth. When they are in square to each other, I am sure by this time of the lectures you will remember that planets in square to each other are said to be Paraspar Karaka, the mutual helpers. Those that allow the other to do his work, and this one allows the prior one to do his work without influencing or modifying them in any manner. So, this is one variation. And another variation is when they are aspecting each other. I would think that all the three are more or less right, but I would give more importance to Mars and Moon being together to deliver full effects of this yoga, followed by Mars and Moon aspecting each other. Because then that yoga, that the Sanyoga, the coming together is more powerful than being in squares. But even with squares, they would still give something. Some are also even of the opinion that this combination can indicate something to do with chemicals or pharmaceuticals. But we are not going into that now. This is more about the yoga and the specific. That wealth will never desert him means he will be wealthy. And that is why it is called Chandra Mangal Yoga. Some people call it the Lakshmi Yoga. That is yoga for wealth. Now, why should this happen? Is the first question that must answer our brain. You are all learned astrologers, and I am sure you will think like this. Why does it happen? What is the reason for it to happen? See, Moon is called Vaishya, the trader. If I'm sure you have heard other lectures, you have read a lot of books, and Mercury and Moon are called Vaishya, the traders, the trading class. Whereas Mars is the Kshatriya, one who goes out and gets something. So naturally coming together of these two things, and Moon is also the Karaka for mind. Mars is the Karaka for valor, the third bhava. So your mind and your valor and your tendency being focused in one direction, what will happen is you will bring back the wealth through your valor, your efforts, and ability of your mind to understand how wealth is to be earned and retained. But is there any other reason? Yeah, there is another reason. Now that is, always look at the natural zodiac when we find some uh, yoga for which at the first glance we may not be able to understand. Why I am saying not able to understand, because here we know moon has a variable nature. So why should wealth not desert that person? Because if it is variable, then the wealth that it grants, the yoga grants, would also be variable. But there is something more here. Look at the natural zodiac, and what do we find? We find that moon is the lord of the fourth house, Cancer. That is the fourth Rashi in the natural zodiac. And Mars is lord of the Lagna, isn't it? So, squaring it, and of the eighth house. Now, this eighth house is fifth from the fourth house. So, what is happening in effect is this is coming together of Kendra Konadhipati, Lord of a square and Lord of the trine are coming together, and also the Lord of the another square is coming there, because Mars owns both the things. And there is another opinion that Lagna, that is the ascendant itself, is both square and trine. So this becomes a powerful Raja Yoga or yoga for wealth anyway. Now, naturally being together, they will influence each other. And if we look at it from another point of view, then Mars is fire, whereas Moon is water. So the temper would not be as high, which can cause problems in businesses or his earning. This is another interpretation of it. But primarily it is coming together of Kendra Konadhipati. Owner of two Kendras are coming together. Owner of a trine is also going there. Though the same trine lord is also lord of the Kendra in the natural zodiac. From where? From the position of moon. That is why perhaps this is not called the Mangala Shashi Yoga, but Shashi Mangala Yoga, Chandra Mangala Yoga. So moon gets the primacy there. From there we are looking at it. What does the fourth house represent? It represents your property, house property, your happiness, your vehicles, your motherland, and so many other things. So naturally, if you have wealth, you have got the assets also to support this. So this is the reason that this yoga is supposed to give you wealth, which will never be frittered away. Will this be occurring with the same intensity everywhere? This one must always understand. Whenever yoga is there, yoga is telling you some place from where it will manifest. This we will talk about more, or rather on these lines or this concept, when we talk about one bhava lord occupying another bhava and how it manifests. So, say this yoga is occurring in the 12th house. So where is the house yoga for wealth occurring? In the 12th house. 12th house is distant lands. It is also jail, it is also hospital, and it is also sleep. But forget about sleep. Saturn there will give you a disturbed sleep, perhaps. Moon there will give a bit of a disturbed sleep, perhaps. I'm not sure. So in such places, the income would be there for that person, or he would be working in some such organization, because this moon and Mars will be aspecting the 7th house, 6th house. 6th house is house of job also, isn't it? Of course, Mars will be aspecting the seventh also, but we are talking about the yoga giving its strength somewhere, and moon has only one aspect. So, or say this yoga is happening in the 10th house, then how will it manifest? Through career. Whose career? The Jataka's own career, not the father's career. If it is happening in the 9th house, maybe because of father or his family, if it is happening in the 2nd house on family, and through a stroke of fortune also, because 9th house is representative of fortune. If it is in the 6th house, hard work. If in the 8th house, unexpected gains. So this is how one has to understand the yoga and how it will manifest. And when will it manifest? Naturally, in either of the two planets, uh, Dasha, Antardasha, Pratyantardasha, etc. would be there. And also when we come to Vishwattari Dasha, you will understand it better. Perhaps, I mean, you must have read it, but I try to explain it a much simplified manner. So, and that is the right place to talk about this. But any functional benefits, Mahadasha, etc., would be there. And at the lower level, there will be some functional benefits. Dasha, Pratyanta Dasha, Sukshma Dasha, etc., operating on that particular time. And a benefit would be aspecting the 11th house or the 2nd house for this yoga to manifest into granting you first wealth, because for wealth to go away from you like a kulavadhu, that is like a bride, you know that bride is not there with you since your birth, unless it is of course the father's money, but that also comes to you when he is no longer here, isn't it? That is legacy, so it comes from the 8th house. In natural zodiac, Mars has, the I call it authority over it. So we have to understand this. So you will gain that wealth sometime, which will never be frittered away. I mean, which cannot get diminished, rather frittered away, because people do spend, especially people with Mars and Moon in the 12th house would like to spend much on flashy things, variable things. Also, expenditure on mother and brothers could be there. There the Karakatva comes into picture. But this is how one has to understand. Where that yoga is happening, that is where from the results will come. And that again is why I think in one of my earlier lectures I had talked about how to approach analysis of a chart. And this is where you will get it. It is also possible the yoga might fructify out of some direction given by the sibling or mother of the Jataka also, because Moon and Mars also are Karaka for mother and moon. So please remember this before jumping to conclusion that there is a Shashi Mangal Yoga and there is no wealth, or whatever wealth is there will go away. It will come back again, don't worry, if it is in the right form, but from the place that the yoga occupies. So occupation of the place of the yoga is important. The rashis in which they are placed are also important, because they will indicate the strength of the yoga. So Moon in strength, Mars in strength, also getting strength from the Navamsha, the intensity of the yoga will be higher. If they are in debility, placed in Dusthana, then the naturally, and in Navamsha also if they are weak, then of course the intensity will be less. Still it will be there. He would certainly not be a pauper. And what is wealth? The concept of wealth would be with respect to when he was born, or in the family that he was there till he branched out on his own. That would be the level which we will consider. For above that would be the fructification of the Shashi Mangal Yoga. I hope I have been able to explain the principles in a manner that would be conducive to analyze the chart or yoga in a chart and guide the Jataka in the right manner. So my dear friends, this time I have been able to keep the lecture under 15 minutes, and so I take your leave and a very good night.